I never imagined my marriage would end like this. When Elise first mentioned the idea of an open marriage, I didn't hesitate for a second. I told her there was no reason for that. Our marriage was already over. She was caught off guard. Yet in that instant, I realized there was nothing left to save. My name is Daniel Marino. I'm 32. Up until recently, I thought my life with my wife Elise, who is 29, was solid. We had been together for 6 years and married for 3. From the outside, we looked like the ideal couple. Stable jobs, a cozy city apartment, loving families. Not flashy, but it felt secure. Or at least I thought it did. The first warning signs were subtle. Elise began staying late at work more frequently. I told myself it was just her job. Marketing deadlines can be brutal. But then came the late-night messages, the way she kept her phone close, and the calls she took out on the balcony. I tried convincing myself it was only stress. I didn't want to become a suspicious husband without proof. Then, 2 weeks ago, everything shifted. Elise was in the shower when her phone buzzed. The screen showed the name Maya, someone I had met once at a company event. Irritated, I picked it up, but the voice on the other end wasn't female. A man spoke casually, as if he knew Elise well, asking if she was free for lunch. When I answered instead, he went silent and then hung up. My heart raced as Elise emerged from the bathroom. I confronted her immediately. She didn't even flinch. Calmly, she claimed the number was saved wrong and insisted it was just a coworker arranging a client meeting. She sounded convincing, almost enough to make me believe her, but the tone of that man's voice told a different story. Over the next few days, I tried to discuss it again, but she brushed me off every time. "You're overthinking it," she said. "You're just stressed." The more she dismissed me, the stronger my gut feeling became. One night, I even tried to check her phone while she slept, only to find she had changed the password. That was the moment I realized something serious was happening. A few nights later, she sat me down at the kitchen table. I thought she was finally going to be honest. Instead, she said she felt trapped, that we had rushed into marriage, and that she needed space. Then came the real shock. She proposed opening our marriage. She presented it as a solution, as if this would salvage what remained between us. I sat there stunned, then angry. I told her she didn't need an open marriage. She could leave if that's what she wanted. I told her I knew about her coworker, even without proof. She exploded, calling me paranoid and swearing she had never cheated. But I couldn't believe her anymore. I told her it didn't matter. Asking for an open marriage meant she had already emotionally checked out. The argument spiraled. We hurled every hidden resentment at each other. Finally, Elise packed a bag and left. I didn't stop her. That was 3 days ago. At first, the silence was a relief. Then it became unbearable. I questioned whether I had overreacted, whether I'd destroyed something we could have saved. But deep down, I knew the truth. She suggested an open marriage not to explore with me, but because she had already started exploring without me. Last night, I packed the rest of her belongings. I couldn't stand seeing her coat on the chair or her hairbrush on the counter. Today, I called my parents and told them everything. My father, who once worked at a law firm, promised to connect me with a competent lawyer. We're filing for divorce. This isn't the life I pictured. I thought Elise and I would be planning kids, saving for a home. Instead, I'm learning just how quickly trust can shatter and how heavy silence can feel. But one thing is clear, the real mistake wasn't ending it, it was ignoring the warning signs for so long. A week after Elise left, my lawyer, a sharp, no-nonsense man named Robert Kramer, summoned me to his office. He reviewed my notes carefully and said, "Your case is straightforward. No children, no shared property, and clear indications she's not acting in good faith. We can't prove infidelity without evidence, but the fact she left and proposed an open marriage is sufficient for a clean break." For the first time, I felt a sense of direction. But Elise didn't stay away for long. 3 days later, she appeared at my door. She knocked softly at first, then more insistently until I answered. She looked put together, as if coming straight from work, but her eyes were weary. "Daniel, can we talk?" she asked. I stepped aside and let her in. Her eyes fell on the boxes of her belongings, and her expression stiffened. "So this is it," she said. "You've already erased me from this place." I stayed silent. She began pacing. "Daniel," she said, her voice softening, "I know things got tense. I know bringing up an open marriage scared you, but you misunderstood me. I wasn't talking about being with other men. I meant we could try to grow together. I don't want a divorce." I shook my head. "Elise, you don't propose an open marriage if you're happy. You don't guard your phone if you're faithful. You don't walk out with a bag if you want to repair things." She flinched but quickly regained her composure. "So you've convinced yourself I'm cheating based on what? A phone call? A wrong number? You're letting paranoia destroy everything we built." It was almost impressive how fast she spun the story around. I crossed my arms. "No, Elise. You destroyed this." I just stopped pretending not to see it. Her expression shifted, from anger to something calmer. She stepped closer, her tone almost pleading. "Think about what you're doing. Divorce is messy, expensive. Do you really want to throw away 6 years over a misunderstanding? We could try counseling. Start over." For a brief moment, I wanted to believe her, to think we could go back to the way things were. But Robert's words echoed in my mind. "She's acting in bad faith." "Elise," I said quietly, "I've already spoken to a lawyer. The papers are being filed." The color drained from her face. For a split second, her mask slipped, and I glimpsed the truth beneath. Something inside me broke as her words cut a raw nerve I hadn't realized was still exposed. Then she snapped, voice sharp. "So that's it. You're just going to do whatever your parents and some lawyer tell you after everything we've been through." Her voice rose until she was nearly shouting. "You're pathetic, Daniel. Weak. No wonder I felt suffocated in this marriage. You can't even fight for your own wife." The words hit like punches, but I refused to show it. I stood, walked to the door, opened it, and said evenly, "Pack your things, Elise. The next time we speak, it'll be through lawyers." She froze, fists trembling, tears in her eyes. I didn't move. This time, her tears didn't sway me. Eventually, she gathered her boxes, muttering under her breath, and left. When the door clicked shut, the truth hit me. She wasn't heartbroken over losing me. She was furious she couldn't control me anymore. For the first time in months, I felt a strange, liberating calm. The following weeks blurred together. Endless paperwork, late-night emails with Robert, sleepless nights. Whenever I replayed the image of Elise at the door, cycling from fury to fake sorrow, I reminded myself, she wasn't trying to save us. She was trying to hold on to power. Robert warned me from the start. She'd resist. People like her don't let go without a fight. Expect guilt trips, maybe lies. Stay calm. Document everything. Let me handle it. He was right. 2 days later, the first wave hit. Elise sent a long, emotional email. Paragraphs about work stress, bad advice from friends, and how she had only suggested an open marriage to test my love. "We're soulmates, Daniel. Don't throw this away over a misunderstanding," she wrote. I didn't respond. Her next attempt came through my mother. Elise called her directly. That evening, my mom called me conflicted. "She says she loves you, Danny. She made a mistake and wants to fix things. Are you sure you want to go through with this?" It almost broke me, but I told her the truth. "Mom, she doesn't want me. She wants me on a leash while she does whatever she wants. I can't live like that." My father backed me immediately. "She's shown who she is. Don't let her pull you back in," he said. When guilt failed, Elise became hostile. One night, a text appeared, "If you divorce me, I'll tell everyone how controlling you are. I'll make sure you look like the bad guy." For the first time, I felt true anger, not sadness, fury. She was rewriting the story, making me the villain. But Robert had prepared me. Save everything. Texts, emails, voicemails. Don't react. The more she talks, the more she exposes herself. By the preliminary hearing, Elise had transformed in public. She arrived demure, spoke softly, even cried as she told the judge I had blindsided her. She claimed she'd suggested counseling, but I had overreacted. Surreal. Robert leaned over and whispered, "Don't react. Let her trap herself." When it was our turn, he presented her messages, her open marriage proposal, manipulative emails, threats. The judge read them carefully, then looked at her. "Mrs. Marino, these messages don't match the picture you just painted." Her face flushed. By the end, the judge clearly didn't believe her. With no kids, no shared assets beyond furniture, and no major claims, the court favored a clean, simple divorce. That night, Elise called once more. I shouldn't have answered, but curiosity won. "You're really going through with this, aren't you?" she asked, voice eerily calm. "Yes," I said. A long silence, then a bitter, quiet laugh. "You'll regret this, Daniel. One day, you'll wake up alone and realize you threw away the only woman who ever loved you." I hung up. For the first time in months, I slept peacefully. The court finalized the divorce faster than expected. After filing, only the waiting period remained. I assumed Elise would fade from my life, but I underestimated her. Within a week, calls came from old friends and coworkers. "Did you really just kick Elise out for no reason?" Some asked if I'd been emotionally abusive. My stomach sank. Elise had launched a smear campaign. On social media, she posted about healing from emotional trauma, vague enough not to name me, yet detailed enough for everyone to know who she meant. My first instinct was to defend myself publicly, but Robert stopped me. "Don't touch it. Every response fuels her narrative. Let her play victim. The court doesn't care about Facebook." So I stayed quiet. It was harder than I imagined, seeing lies spread and some people believing them. But over time, silence became my strongest weapon. Her story faltered when she went too far, claiming I had financially trapped her. Everyone knew she earned more than I did. Gradually, her supporters drifted away, some even messaging me privately, acknowledging the truth. 3 weeks before the divorce was final, she appeared unannounced at my apartment. She collapsed on the couch, sobbing harder than I'd ever seen. "Daniel, please don't do this. I know I've made mistakes, but I love you. We can fix this. I'll quit my job, cut off friends, anything. Just don't leave me." For a fleeting moment, I almost believed her. This was the woman I once imagined a future with. The urge to hold her was strong. But then I remembered the lies, the threats, the smear campaign. "No, Elise," I said softly. "You don't love me. You love control. And you're terrified of losing it." Her sobbing stopped, replaced by rage. "You think you'll be happier without me. You'll be alone, Daniel. Alone and miserable. And when that day comes, don't come crawling back." She stormed out, slamming the door so hard the frame rattled. That was the last time I saw her. 3 weeks later, the judge signed the final papers. Just like that, it was over. I thought I'd feel nothing but relief. And I did. But there was grief too, not for Elise, but for the years I'd spent building a future that no longer existed. That grief eventually transformed into clarity. I started taking care of myself again. I began running, a habit abandoned during the chaos of our marriage. I reconnected with old friends. I even returned to painting, a passion I hadn't touched since college. Little by little, my apartment stopped feeling like a battleground and started feeling like home. One evening, while running through the park at sunset, a quiet realization struck me. Elise was right about one thing. I was still young. I had time to rebuild, to rediscover myself without her shadow looming over me. For the first time in a long while, the future didn't feel heavy.